Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Joshsnipes, and if you're just checking the channel for the first time, I do all sorts of operator guides, map guides, tips and tricks, videos like this one, and just fun stuff for us to get better at the game as a team, as a unit, as a channel, everything. And that's kind of the goal of this. I just want you guys to get better. I want for me to get better. I learn stuff from you guys all the time, so this is always a good discussion starter and things like that. But today we're going to be taking a look at my top 5 tips for beginners. If you're just starting on the game, you just picked up the game, especially since Christmas wasn't too long ago, there's been a couple sales, and then obviously now that the new season has started, you probably picked up the game within the last 3 months. This might be the video for you. And if you're an intermediate player and you're struggling in the lower ranks and you keep finding yourself in the lower ranks, this might also be something you could work on as well. So stay tuned, let's have some fun, and I hope you guys learned something new today. So the first thing that I want to go over is how do you find new information about the game, whether that be finding about new operators, the new season, or maybe you're learning about something that's just new to you but not necessarily new to the game. So, you know, if you haven't played a certain operator, you want to watch a how-to. So that's the key thing, is what you're looking for. Now, there's a lot of YouTube videos on how-tos, tips and tricks, and spots. And typically, if I'm going to look at for how-to videos, I'm going to usually go to Braction or Gregor, or maybe even Chaos, depending on who's had the video on what operator I'm looking for. Also, they do great tips and tricks also. Those are just some of the people I watch. If I'm looking for spots, like really good spots or really weird angles, I'm typically gonna go watch Dangleberries or maybe Coconut Bra. I've submitted a couple clips to Coconut Bra, so you might see my name pop up like every once in a blue moon. But I really like that kind of stuff because to me, the more information I can gather about the game and the more that I know, I can outplay my enemies, especially if someone hasn't seen an angle before, you're going to end up getting that kill. Now, one thing that I also like to point out is that if you're just trying to get into higher level Siege, let's say maybe you're an intermediate player, watch pros play, whether on the stream or you're watching the actual Pro League matches. R6 has some great pro plays and some great matches to watch. Honestly, just go watch anything from the 6 Invitational 2020. That was probably one of my favorite lands to watch. But the biggest thing you're looking for is who plays the role that you play. So if you play a little bit more anchor style, maybe you play a little bit more roamer, so a little bit more aggressive versus a little bit more passive. Look for someone that plays sort of the same operators and the same characters that you really like to play, because that's what's going to help you the most, because then you can deep dive on that specific person. Maybe there's a clip about them, maybe there's a compilation about them, or maybe even, if you're lucky, they stream and you can go and watch how they play. Pengu is a great example of this. I kind of really like how Pengu is so flexible, and because of that, I tend to watch his stuff a lot, and I really learn a lot from it as well. So the key thing is, though, you're looking for way more information than you could possibly ever handle, but eventually you'll kind of learn what you need to and what you don't need to actually gather from those videos. Now, if you're trying to learn maps, there's 2 ways you can do this. My first one is you get the top-down view, so get a website like battleplanner.io or maybe another R6 maps sort of website. I don't think that UB has updated their own website, but there's some others out there. I'll try to see if I can link them down below that I can't think of off the top of my head. But the key thing is you want to see the layout of the map, what long hallways, what are the corners, and where can you rotate to if you need to get away. This is always a great way to kind of give you a top-down view. You can draw on it, you can move yourself if you need to. It's also a great way if you're just getting into sort of developing your own strategies and stuff like that with your teammates. This is a great way to do that also, because you can share that with them, take a picture of it or whatever. Another way to get used to maps and get used to spots on maps, besides just playing, I'm trying to avoid you just like actually playing casual and rank, because that's really what's going to get you a lot of the experience in real time. But if you're trying to just learn where things are on the map, definitely run around in T-Hunt or run around in private custom match and just look for different things. Look where the bomb sites are, look where the angles are that you can hold, see what you might reinforce, see what you might attack. These are some key things that you're going to be looking for when you're trying to find out a new map, especially if you just got into the game now. New Oregon, you probably have never played the old Oregon, but even for me, I had to relearn Oregon just because of all the new spots, all the new rotations and everything like that. So the next thing that I want to go over is intel basics. Now, I'm just going to be talking about visual intel, so using cameras in this game, because there is a bunch of other stuff like sound and sort of using cues, but I'm not going to go over that too much because it's just not too useful right now for someone who's just learning the game. Now, for the attacking side, you start with 2 drones on your body, and that's basically what's going to help you, is that the first one will start in prep phase, it'll go into prep phase, and if you drive into the building and get shot, you lose that drone for the rest of the game. Now, if you just drive it back to your spawn, or you just put it in a spot where no one doesn't get shot, it'll be really good for giving your teammates callouts, and it'll be really, really helpful later on into the round. Now, Now, if you do decide to drive it back to the spawn, just make sure really quickly that at some point later on into the round you are using both drones. Don't just use one drone. If anything, just use it as a flank drone. It'll be really useful to your team later on into the round. You don't want to die with the drone on you because that means that you weren't doing a good enough job of actually trying to search out the map, trying to find enemies. Now, the 3 drones are the Twitch drones. You have your default drones that I just went over, and then Yana actually has holograms. Yana is the new character that came with the new season, and her hologram allows her to sort of look through rooms and try to find people within a certain time limit because it doesn't go on forever. Those are the 3 intels that I would say that the attacking side had, and the important part of using your drones, using your intel, is you want to work with your teammates and sort of tell them where an enemy is. You can also do what is called pinging on them, where you hold the button down and it'll actually show a red ping on where their last location when you scan them was. That's really helpful too in case your teammates don't know what you're talking about. As you get into higher and higher elo and ranks, you'll tend to not see pings as often unless you're trying to do something that is coordinated. Now, on the defensive side, you actually have what is called CCTV cameras or default cameras or security cameras. I've heard mostly here default cams, but security and CCTV cameras is probably correct. Also, besides those cameras, there's Valk cams, bulletproof cams, Maestro cams, Echo drones, and Mozzie drones. That's a lot of intel that you're gonna have to deal with, and one of the best people to deal with that if you're attacking is IQ. But on the defensive side, the importance of intel and visual intel is that you can see where an attack is actually coming from. There's 2 bomb sites, so normally the attack is gonna have to pick to attack one bomb site or the other, and you think on a couple maps where it takes a completely different strategy to attack one versus the other, you tend to want to know where they're actually attacking from, so that way you can set up correctly and that way you don't get flanked or anything like that. So using all of these cameras, there's so many different ways you can use them. I'm not going to go over them here in this video, but just acknowledging that these cameras all exist is basically what I'm trying to do here. And know that when you're playing intel on either side, the whole goal is you're trying to find the enemy and tell your team where they are, so that way you guys can set up properly. If you're attacking, it tends to be when you're trying to find someone that's off of site and that's kind of running around upstairs above the site or even below the site. You want to drone out that. But if you're playing defense, you're just trying to figure out where the attacking side is coming from, and if anyone is trying to flank, you know, way ahead of time versus getting killed all of a sudden and not having any effect on the rest of the round. Now, the number 3 thing that I would say you need to work on is pretty simple, and that is just practicing your recoil, practicing your aim, and go. I think the best way to do this is in T-Hunt, but also working in casual where there's no cost for you to do it. You don't lose any elo or anything like that if rank is really important to you. I'd say go to T-Hunt first, though. If you're going to practice your aim, only aim for headshots. You want to do like 1-tap headshots, maybe double tapping or something like that, but don't full auto on people. Now, if you're trying to just figure out new guns, maybe you're trying to work with different attachments and figure out what works best for you, that's when I would go full auto in T-Hunt. The whole goal of T-Hunt when you're doing this, though, you don't care that much about winning T-Hunt. You're trying to sort of fly through it and try to get through it as fast as you possibly can and see how well you can do. A lot of times with the attachments, I tend to see how much jump it really has. So you think of a character like Buck, the different muzzle attachments are really going to make a difference on how his gun really jumps, especially with an ACOG on it. That's what I usually run. So I usually will try and figure out what works best for me. And the recoils tend to change from season to season, even sometimes during the updates that they have the random patches. And so that's why I always try to constantly just be working through my different recoils and see what I can actually improve on and what works best for me. Because at the end of the day, I feel like attachments is subjective to what you really want and what works best for you. Now, the 4th thing that I really want to go over is just pick a couple operators that you want to quote unquote master. Now, a lot of people say don't main a single operator, and I honestly believe that, but when you're just starting out in the game, it's good to just pick a handful on each side, that if someone were to take that operator, you at least have a couple others that you can choose from, so that way you're not completely out of the loop. Learn those operators as best you can. If you really don't like their gadgets, then go on and try to learn someone else, because there are a couple operators that aren't very useful in the current meta or the current way that we play the game. So that always does happen. So just make sure, though, pick a couple operators. Usually on the attacking side, I like to pick someone like Sledge, Sophia if you can buy her, or Ash. Those are always some good options, even Twitch if you have her also, because a lot of it is just gunplay and you'll learn their gadgets as you go along. On the defensive side, it's kind of the same thing. I would say pick someone like Doc or Rook, maybe even Pulse, and probably going to pick Vigil if you can end up buying Vigil. Again, some of these operators you do have to earn through getting renown, but the operators I'm suggesting are heavily based on using your gun to get kills, and your gadget tends to be, if you die, your teammates can't use it. It's very much on you, and so if you die, you don't get any use out of it. That is the downside to it, but on the same time, you don't want to take an operator that is really, really helpful, not knowing how to use it, and then your teammates getting mad at you. Now, the fifth thing that I really want to go over, it's very simple. It's so simple that I can't even believe that I even bother adding it to this list, and that is just have fun. At the end of the day, this is a video game. This is just something that you can learn. It has a lot, and I mean a lot of things to learn. There's a huge learning curve when you're just getting into the game, and especially if you've never played an FPS before and this is your first one, good luck. I really do think that there's a lot to learn, but when you get to learn this game, it is amazing. I have never seen or played a game this much ever, and I've been playing games since I could hold a controller essentially. So make sure though, have a ton of fun. Get a group of friends, especially if you can get a group of friends that you know. Get a group of friends to play with, have a lot of fun, learn the game, and honestly, do not let bad teammates ruin this game for you. There's some toxic people out there that just, I don't know why, they're just not very happy, especially if you suck at the game. They're just really not happy. But at the end of the day, just learn the game at your own pace. Watch videos, try to see what information you can gather from watching pros play, semi-pros play, because at the end of the day, this is going to be dependent on how much work you want to put in, because this game really does have a lot going for it and a lot going into it. Anyways, guys, I hope that was useful. I'm sorry the fifth tip wasn't really like a tip. It was more of just something to say, but I really do think just have fun with the game. This game is so much fun. I really enjoy playing it. Seriously, without further ado though, I'm not going to drag this on any longer. Thank you guys so much for all the support. I'm glad I reached 10K finally, and I'm glad the channel actually reached 1 million views. So that's going to be it for today, and this is going to be Joshsnipes signing off.